Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good to see a lot of you active this morning with a lot of people joining on time. Give me 1 second. I'm just refreshing my chat. Hey, Hitesh, how are you? Siddharth is there. Simran, Sri Ram is there. Mr. Ban Reddy is there. Meghna, Karthik, Shivam, Nilabjo, Radhika. Very good morning. Oh, finally, Sri Ram is here on time, right? That's good. That's good. It's good that you're waking up to have a chat with us. Let's wait for another 1 minute or so. But meanwhile, anyone who has any questions or any doubts from anything which we have done till now, from chapter 1 to chapter 6, the marketing strategy, right? We ended up with marketing strategy in the last session. Today we'll start with the other functional strategies, starting from financial strategy, right? You go to financial, then we'll study about production strategy, then logistics, R&D padenge, human resource padenge, which are all part of functional strategy, which is the second level of strategic management, right? First is corporate, third level, sorry. First is corporate, second is business, third is functional level. Hey Sonika, Ashish, Anushka, Durga, Kaveri, Aishwarya, Gayatri is there, Deepak is there, Anita, Manoj, Kushi, Aita is there, Ayaman, how are you? A very good morning. Good to see so many of you so early. Any questions, any doubts from any of the last sessions? Sure, Radhik, I'll do that. I'll do that. Probably after the session. Meanwhile, like I told you, or to all of you, I keep telling this, build your LinkedIn network, start building your LinkedIn network, right? That's going to help you a lot in your articleship, in your job, in your industry training. Har jagah will help. It's going to help you everywhere. Start building that as well. E-marketing, okay? E-marketing, Karthik, super, super, super. So what happens is, okay, what happens is demarketing examples per se, like sometimes itni zyada bhid ho jati hai that they have to do demarketing, right? Demarketing, for example, sometimes what happens is during sales, okay, during sales, what they do is they start removing the discounts. Okay, discounts hatana is also demarketing. So once you give discounts to increase your demand, but when you have to decrease the demand of something, when there is no supply for your product, what you do is you start doing demarketing to reduce the demand. Just say discounts hata do, price increase kar do, right? That's called demarketing. You have a great idea, Bandit, but even I can't join the class 5 minutes before 7 a.m. नींद में होता हूँ, right? Well, that's great, Siddharth. Probably you would have enjoyed yesterday. You were in Pune, so you are in Pune, so it's going to be mad fun for you, the Ganesh Utsav, right? In Delhi, it's not so high, but people in their own houses or small localities, they do that, but not as huge as Pune or Mumbai. How social marketing technique helps organizations to fight competition. Look at Zomato, right? They keep making those memes or those videos, or YouTube they have these like celebrities coming and tasting, or every celebrity who has a new movie come on their channel. So that is social media marketing to fight competition. They're fighting competition by building a trustworthy brand through social media, right? Co-generic merger. So merger which is very closely related in terms of technology, not entirely different from what you currently do. If you merge with a company which is different from you but still makes sense with your business, right? That is co-generic merger. While like what happens in conglomerate is basically very different, very different. Steel manufacturer जाके पानी की बोतल बना रहा है, right? Or a cloth manufacturer is going and making kids toys. So that is different business altogether. Correct. Absolutely. Oh, that's right. I had no clue. You can do that. Okay. Exactly. The notifications are also very convincing. These are matters and notifications that come on, right? Awesome. So, Karthik, I am not very sure on Telegram. I tried checking. I was told that it's not advised, but let me talk because other teachers are doing that, right? Other the faculties are doing that, but I checked in the Board of Studies. It's not recommended. It is not advised to the mode of communication should be through Board of Studies, is what I understand, right? Telegram, the Board of Studies or ICI is not connected to them, right? Through students particularly. So it's not per se allowed for a faculty to directly contact, right, for confidential purposes. But let me find out some other way because I checked and it was not advised to do that. Okay. What is enlightened marketing? I explained this amount. So enlightened marketing is first you aware the customer about your product or the theme of your product, right? So let's say you have a peanut butter brand. Okay, so you are selling peanut butter. So first you make the customer aware about the health benefits of being healthy or a healthy lifestyle, and then you go and sell your peanut butter. Okay, so there are first to enlighten the customer about the benefits of the theme or the overall why this product is useful, and then you go and sell that product. So that is enlightenment. Per se, if you tell through taglines, through whatever you want to do, right? Let me take an example. Okay. Now, enlightened marketing, what we're saying is brand power, ads for the best cause, right? When you develop a cause with your brand, it is called enlightened marketing. For example, PNG. PNG used to say for everything that you buy, every product that you buy, 1 rupee goes to girl child education or hygiene of your localities out in India, right? To poor localities in India, they spend 1 rupee for every product that is sold. So that is enlightened marketing. They're doing it for the best cause. They are making people aware of something that is not right in the society right now, and then they're selling. That is how they're marketing their product. So that is enlightened marketing. Awesome. Manoj, I have explained enlightened. A lot of you had questions there, so I have explained what is enlightened marketing. Cool. Can we start with financial strategy? Can we start with financial strategy? Give me a yes so that we can start quickly with financial strategy. Awesome. And I want everyone who has written a good morning to be active on the chat because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions today. If not MCQs, direct questions from what is there on the screen. So be active. Can we start with financial strategy? Yes. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Let's do that. Okay. Perfect. Look at this word. CFO. Okay. Financial strategy is actually coming under the CFO of the company. Okay. Now, CFO. Now, you tell me what is the objective of the CFO? What is the objective of a CFO of a company? Let's say you are the CFO of a company. What should be, what will be your objective? You are the CFO of the company. What would be your objective? Tell me. I want all of you to think very closely. You are the CFO. What would be your strategy or what would be your objective as the CFO of a company? To manage financial position of the company, great. Manage financial needs of the company, okay. What else? Effective use of resources, cost reduction, cost financial affairs of the company, effective use of resources, monitor financial objectives. Great, right? Absolutely okay. Is this a better to refer to those before? Yes, absolutely. You should refer to those capsules before exam. That helps, right? Wealth maximization of shareholders. That is right. What else? Right? You all are on the right track. That is what a CFO does. That is what the objective of the CFO is. Okay. To manage money, to increase the wealth of the shareholders, to identify where you can reduce cost, how to get more money, how to make money out of money. Right. Raise capital at low cost. That is right. Raising capital is also under the objectives of CFO. Increase profits, manage costs, acquire funds at the best cost. CFO needs to be, all the answers. Financial strategy पढ़ने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. This is what financial strategy talks about. Okay, let's get into this. Financial strategy has nothing to do with bookkeeping. It is not debit and credit. It is a forward-looking activity based on historical data. Remember these keywords for examination. You all have just answered all of this. It's just there in the book. The same thing what you all said. Stress on acquisition of funds and their proper utilization. That is what you said, right? Focus on maintaining overall financial health of the organization. Simple. You guys know it. So this is what a financial strategy basically is. Forward-looking activity. It's not just debit and credit. It includes acquisition of funds and their proper utilization, and focus on maintaining overall financial health of the organization, right? Okay, exactly. That is what all of you have written, what a CFO does. And this is what a CFO does. It's a financial strategy. Everything that is related to this comes under financial strategy, okay? Now, it has 4 major components. We know it has a lot of things, but we can summarize. There are 4 major components in financial strategy. Okay, there are 4 major components in financial strategy. The first one being strategizing, acquiring capital. Capital acquire kaise kare. Okay, that should be your first component of financial strategy. Strategizing acquisition of capital. It can either be debt and it can either be equity. Okay, now you tell me what is the difference between debt and equity. You all should know by now. What is the difference between debt and equity? Radhika, why we are saying we're talking about CFO at a functional level is because this function is headed by CFO. Okay, the real execution is done by functional managers. But the broad idea of a functional strategy, every function is headed by a CFO or a CEO or a CTO, technology by Chief Technology Officer, procurement by Chief Purchase Officer, Chief Procurement Officer, right? So all these strategies eventually will go to corporate level, right? That is what we studied. Functional level बनाएगा, business के पास जाएगा, business corporate के पास जाएगा. So corporate level पे तो CFO बैठा है for financial strategy. So the broad idea is execution is done by functional managers, but a yes or no to every strategy, whether this is the right strategy or not, is done by CFO. Okay. Yes, Aditi, your questions are reaching. Your messages are reaching probably, yes. Okay. For taking financial decisions, bookkeeping data is required, right? Not necessarily, but yes. So it has nothing to do with the strategy. Okay, don't confuse yourself with this, Hitesh. Okay, we're talking about strategy, not operations. Bookkeeping comes under general operations of the business. Okay, financial strategy बनाने में bookkeeping का कोई काम नहीं. It helps with the data, but strategy में bookkeeping नहीं आती कि ऐसे bookkeeping करो या वैसे bookkeeping करो. That comes under compliance. It does not. That comes under financial function में compliance part, not the strategy part. Strategy is how to create a competitive advantage. Bookkeeping से आप competitive advantage कैसे बना सकते हो? Right? Think about this. Strategy में we are talking about how to create a core competency or how to create a competitive advantage. Bookkeeping से आप competitive advantage कैसे बना सकते हो? It is very difficult. Right? It is like it doesn't make sense. It does not fall in that category where it will help you to create a competitive advantage, and that is why bookkeeping and the financial strategy is not part of the overall strategy purview. Right? Coming to the question, the difference between debt and equity, we have a lot of answers. Equity is owner's funds, debt is borrowed funds, equity is owned funds and borrowed, owned and borrowed, right? Okay. Debt is loan, whereas equity, investors investing, outsider liability, external liabilities, and owners' funds. Debt carries an amount of interest, whereas equity carries by dividend. Okay. Awesome. Equity dilutes control, but debt does not. That is right. Good one. Debt borrowing equity owners. Debt is borrowing equity is owners funds. That is right. That is right. Okay. Now another question. Which is better, debt or equity? For a company to acquire funds, which is better, debt or equity? Debt is a tax-free source. Equity is costly source of finance because its returns also are to be given to meet the demand of the shareholders. Okay, it's an own funds. That's the right method. That's a good thought. Through use of technology, we can try to gain competitive advantage. It can be a game changer. You're saying bookkeeping through use of technology, you can give competitive advantage. You're talking about bookkeeping much, I think. Balance between both. Equity is better. Both are needed. Depends on profit margins. It depends on the type and situation. Both need to be maintained the balance. That is right. I think majority of you are saying there has to be a proper balance, and that is exactly what we do. Debt equity ratio 2:1. Right? Remember that like 2:1, the debt equity ratio should be 2:1, or which is the most efficient debt equity ratio, right? In financial ratios, we study that. That means there has to be a proper balance between the two. It cannot be in isolation. कि सिर्फ equity ले लेते हैं या सिर्फ debt ले लेते हैं. There has to be a combination of both. There has to be a balance of both. Okay. It depends on capital structure, appropriate mix of both, appropriate combination. Equity is better. Equity, but perfect combination of both which lower the financial cost. Okay. That is what you'll have to calculate. Exactly. Everyone is now remembering their financial management class. Debt only until the debt to equity ratio does not cross 2:1, right? That is what we're talking about. There has to be a proper balance between the two. Compare the highest EPS, okay? Cost of equity is greater than cost of debt, yet ideal proportion of these is crucial. That is right. For a company, both equity and debt are important as per the condition and financial stability of the company. Okay? Debt gives tax benefits on the interest, but equity isn't equity cheaper? अगर आपकी कंपनी लॉस बना रही है, if it's a loss making or not a very profitable company, then I think equity is cheaper, right? That is why startups give a lot of ESOPs, employee stock options दे देते हैं कि आप भी हमारे शेयर होल्डर बन जाओ, क्योंकि अभी तो हमारे पास प्रॉफिट नहीं है. To give you interest income, debt उठाने की हमारे पास ताकत नहीं है, because interest will be an added cost to the business, right? Okay, you understand this. So strategizing acquisition of capital की which is better, debt के लिए जाएं या equity के लिए जाएं, this is part of financial strategy की whether you should go for debt or you should go for equity. Okay. Now, number 2, comparing projected financial statements and budgets with prior years and industry average to gain insights into the feasibility of various strategies. Okay. What does this mean? This means you compare your financial position, be it cash flow, be it profit margin, be it debt to equity, be it interest income, be it interest expense, be it taxation. You compare your own financial health, your own financial statements or own financial health with your previous year, with your previous month, with your previous quarter. You also compare that with the industry, like what are other competitors' financial statements looking like, how are they doing better, or whether we are doing better or they are doing better, right? To gain insights into feasibility of various strategies and implementation approaches, right? So you compare. The second component of financial strategy is comparing projected financial statements and budgets with prior years and industry averages. Okay. True, equity is cheaper but hostile takeovers unless you do not give out a lot of chunk in equity, right? ज़्यादा दे दोगे तो हो ही जाएगा, but you have to maintain that balance. Hmm. Sriram, that's a good thought, but a balance. The correct answer is there has to be a balance of both. दोनों चाहिए company को. Okay, debt and equity. The second one being comparison of financial statements and budgets with your previous periods and with industry averages. Okay, cool. Number three, utilization and management of funds. भाई पैसा तो उठा लिया डेट से, पैसा तो उठा लिया इक्विटी से. How will you utilize and how will you manage these funds is what you have to identify as a financial strategy. That is part of financial strategy. Okay. You have to make investment and asset mix decisions to reduce conflict of interest. What is asset mix decision? Who will tell me? Utilization, management of funds, and making investment or asset mix decisions to reduce conflict of interest. What does asset mix decisions mean? इसका क्या मतलब है? Think. What does this mean? Let's see who can answer this. What is asset mix decision in financial strategy? What does asset mix decisions in financial strategy mean? Think about it and tell me. Okay, I'm waiting for answers. A lot of you are taking a little bit time. Is it a tough one? Okay, now I have answers. Proper mix or combination of assets in the right proportion. Okay, own or hire the asset. Okay, mix of investments in portfolio. That is right. That is right. Mix of investments in portfolio. Proper mix and combination of assets in the right proportion. Own or hire the asset. What else? Purchasing of an asset, fixed asset or capital, like current asset, what part be of it on organization. Okay, how much to invest in current assets, that is working capital and fixed assets. Should you buy an asset, take them on rent, avail loans for mortgaging, invest in non-current assets? You guys know it. That is exactly what this means. This is how do you proportionate your money that is available to you into building fixed assets or using or making money through current assets, right? इसकी एफडी करा के पैसा कमाना चाहते हो या इस 50 करोड़ से एक नई कैपिटल, एक मशीन खरीद के उससे पैसा कमाना चाहते हो, right? So that decision, that strategy comes under financial strategy. That utilization of funds, management of funds also comes under financial strategy, right? Number four, and very, very interesting thing that is happening across the industries, especially in startups, is evaluating the worth of business. Evaluating the worth of business. Okay. Now, worth of business मतलब business की value क्या है? Number one, net worth or stakeholders equity. Couple of things you would have studied in financial management also. What is the net worth of the company? Okay, net worth is nothing but total assets minus shareholders equity or current liabilities, right? That is total long-term liabilities देख लोगे अगर plus equity, that is your net worth. So shareholders equity is basically the net worth of the company, okay, or valuation of the firm. There are a couple of different ways. यहाँ पे we have given 3 approaches. There are like 1,000 approaches to value a company. Okay, but the 3 major, very basic approaches. Now, a question you might think is that the value आती है that now Blinkit is for $5 billion. Now Zomato is for $7 billion. Google की market cap is what $1 trillion. आपकी एप्पल की मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन इज 2 बिलियन 2 ट्रिलियन 3 ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स. वो कैसे कर रहे हैं? दिस इज हाउ दे कैलकुलेट. जो उनकी बैलेंस शीट में, इन देयर बैलेंस शीट, द शेयर होल्डर्स इक्विटी का जो टोटल है, on the top side under equities and liabilities there is a heading called shareholders equity, which has shares, which has preference shares, which has right issues, right, plus long term plus non-current liabilities, right? It takes you under stakeholders stockholders equity, right? and that is how they value कि भाई ये 3 trillion की company कैसे हुई. That is the value in the balance sheet on the stockholders' equity. Number two is valuation of the firm. So 5 times or 6 times or 10 times, that depends on how you want to value, how the market wants to value, how the valuer wants to value. Okay, so there are a couple of different companies like who do valuation, like eValueServe, EY, Deloitte, KPMG, all these big fours, all these big management consulting companies like Bain, BCG, McKinsey. All these companies also do these valuations, or investment banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, BlackRock. All these investment banks are also doing valuation of business. Okay, so what they identify, so let's say a company makes 5 crore profit every year, and they say okay, the potential is that for the next 5 years they can grow for the next 5 years at, let's say, 10%. So they value that okay, this company की value is almost 5 times how much profits they are making, right? There are different models within this. You will learn as you go into final, that you will learn as you go into these investment banks to find a job or something, right? So 5 times their annual profit. So that is how they value their company. The annual profit is 5 crores and 5 times we take. So that is the valuation of the firm, right? Number three is market determined valuation using comparables like a PE ratio method or outstanding shares method. So which is, the formula is very simple. Okay, the formula is very simple. Formula is market price into number of shares. This is the most common method in share market to value what is the value of the company. Most common used is market price क्या है. Let's say आज की डेट में LIC का शेयर is for, let's say, 700 rupees. Okay, LIC share is for 700 rupees, and in the market there are 1 crore shares. Okay, 1 crore शेयर है. 1 crore शेयर है LIC के market. I'm just giving you an example, and the market price is 700. So what is the worth of the business? What is the market capitalization? What is the market value of the company? You tell me. It includes employee options, shareholders equity, Sriram. Same thing, Namrata. Stockholders, shareholders, एक ही बात है. It's the same thing. 700 rupees का एक शेयर है. There are 1 crore shares in the share market. What is the value of LIC? What is the market value or the value of the company LIC? It is 700 crores. That is right. 700 crore की company है. I'm just giving an example. However, this is like they have like 100 crore shares in the market. So वो 70,000 crore की company बन गई. If they have 10 crore shares in the market, 7,000 crore की company बन गई, right? So this is how normally share market में, if you go and look at this कि अरे आपका Reliance की market capitalization हो गई 3 लाख करोड़. That means one share is for, let's say, 1,000 rupees. तो उन्होंने market में कम से कम 30,000 crore shares निकाले हुए हैं, या 3,000 crore shares निकाले, right? So that is how they value. Market price, the current market price into the number of shares available or the number of shares of the company is basically market valuation, is basically market capitalization, right? So share price is determined by demand and supply. उससे business की value कैसे पता चलती है? कार्तिक, simple है. Demand and supply से तो value पता चलेगी. Now let's say there is a boy called Karthik और वो cricket खेलता है. Okay, you are a very good batsman. आप बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग करते हो. Now every team wants to keep you in their team. आपकी 4 टीम्स हैं, चारों टीम्स कह रही नहीं हमें कार्तिक चाहिए, नहीं हमें कार्तिक चाहिए. तो आपकी वैल्यू बढ़ रही है या घट रही है? Your value as a player is increasing or decreasing? Tell me. If every team wants you in their team, every team wants you in their team, आपकी वैल्यू बढ़ रही है या घट रही है? Obviously आपकी वैल्यू बढ़ रही है. So demand and supply is actually determining your value. But to put a number to the value, especially in share market जहाँ पे पैसे लग रहे हैं, these are the methods that we use. Okay, absolutely increasing your value will बढ़ गई. तो demand and supply से share market चल रही है, उससे share की value कैसे बढ़ रही है? ऐसे बढ़ रही है. Every investor wants a TCS or an HDFC का share in their portfolio. उनको चाहिए यार मेरे को HDFC का शेयर खरीदना है, सबको खरीदना है. जब सबको खरीदना है तो शेयर का वैल्यू बढ़ जाएगा. करेक्ट. जब सबको बेचने, सब कह रहे बकवास शेयर, अब इससे पैसे नहीं कमा सकते, सब बेचने लग जाएंगे, वैल्यू गिर जाएगी. राइट. सो दैट इज हाउ शेयर मार्केट फंक्शंस. Valuation of a firm. Namrata, annual profits को multiply कर दो with the number of times that you expect. Now this is a very tricky formula. Okay, this is a very tricky formula. This is what happens in startups. Startup में क्या होता है, एक startup ने 1 करोड़ रुपए साल में कमाए and उसके उनके फाउंडर कहते हैं इससे मैं 100 गुना बड़ा हो सकता हूँ, मेरी कंपनी की वैल्यू 100 करोड़. That is just हवाबाजी. That is हीरोपंती. Okay, that doesn't happen. The valuation of the firm based on annual profits is very risky. Okay, up to कुछ भी assumption पे. This is a method, but it is not very fruitful. Okay, based on assumption or based on profits, अगर कोई कहे, let's say now if Namrata comes and says कि मेरे mock test में I scored 70% marks. ठीक है, Namrata comes and says mock test में 70% marks किए मैंने, but I can get 100 in the main paper. I'm very confident based on 70% मेरे main exam में 100 marks आ जाएंगे. थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, right? It's difficult. 100 तो नहीं आ सकते. You might do better than 70. You might even not do better than 70. Mock test might be easier. Mock test हो सकता है आसान हो, जो main exam है मुश्किल आ जाए, right? So this is also the method. Similarly, वो क्या कहते हैं, हमने पहले 5 साल में हमने 1 करोड़ रुपए कमाए, अगले 5 साल में हम इसको 200 करोड़ बना देंगे. सो हम 200 टाइम्स इज आवर वैल्यूएशन. सो हमारी वैल्यू 200 करोड़ की कंपनी होगी. 1 करोड़ के प्रॉफिट पे हम 200 करोड़ की कंपनी होगी. दैट डजंट हैपन, राइट? सो इट्स मोर बेस्ड ऑन assumption, more based on like optimistic approach to your business, right? Which is rarely fruitful. इस स्टार्टअप्स में बहुत ज्यादा होता है. सपने देखने का नंबर लगा देते हैं. आज हम 1 करोड़ के हैं, कल हम 5,000 करोड़ के हैं, राइट? More value or more good methods of valuation are stockholders' equity, and if your shares are in the market, then your outstanding share method, which is market price into number of shares. Okay. Finance is derived from economics. That is right. Finance is derived from economics only. Economics का part है finance. Finance is a sub part of economics. Net worth और या balance sheet देखिए कावेरी. If you have ever seen a balance sheet, there is a heading called shareholders equity. If you have ever seen a balance sheet, there is a heading called shareholders equity. 11th में पढ़ा है, 12th में पढ़ा है, foundation में पढ़ा होगा. बैलेंस शीट में अंडर लायबिलिटीज एंड इक्विटी देयर इज अ हेडिंग कॉल्ड शेयरहोल्डर्स इक्विटी. शेयरहोल्डर्स इक्विटी का टोटल जो भी है, दैट बिकम्स द वैल्यू ऑफ योर बिजनेस, राइट? दैट इज आल्सो अ मेथड ऑफ वैल्यूइंग योर बिजनेस. Abhi, that helps. That is right, Manreddy. You have to analyze every business from a different angle. Every business can have their own challenges, can have different mindset, can have a different way of operations, right? Cool. And that was our simple financial strategy. कितना simple था. सारे answers आप ही ने दे दिए. मेरे को ज़्यादा मेहनत ही नहीं करनी पड़ी. Okay. Cool. What about if we go to the next strategy, which is production strategy? Let us go to the next strategy, which is production. Marketing हो गया, financial हो गया. Let's go to production strategy. तो भैया फैक्ट्री में काम कैसे होता है? फैक्ट्री में क्या स्ट्रैटेजी यूज होती है? Okay, cool. Production strategy को we also call operations strategy. Production strategy is also called operations strategy. Production strategy is also called operations strategy, right? Now, operation strategy is related to the production system, operational planning and control management. What does this mean? Okay. Operation strategy, which is production strategy, It is related to production system, right? Operational planning and control and management. जितने भी operations हो रहे हैं फ्लोर पे, सामान आना जाना, raw material converted to financial goods or final goods, or your services being produced, how people will be trained, लोगों को training कैसे देनी है, काम कैसे कराना है, how a factory will function, how a production unit functions, how the people in the company function, what are the processes, what are the systems, कौन सी files बनानी है, कौन सी reporting करनी है, all of this quality management, this management, that management, पूरा production से related, operations of the business से related जो भी काम है, it's part of production strategy. And production strategy basically has to be in sync with all other strategies. Eventually सारी strategies, सारे functions को आपस में, they have to work together, right? A production strategy cannot function with an HR strategy, cannot function without a financial strategy. They will need help. They will need support from every single function. Similarly, every other function will need support from every other function, right? So production strategy basically talks about production systems, operational planning, and control management. It affects the nature of product or service, the markets to be served, and the manner in which the markets are to be served. Okay, the way the business will function or operate, that is what this strategy is all about. Okay, cool. Now, the operation system structure is concerned with manufacturing of service and supply and delivery system. Pura. कैसे सामान आएगा, how will we convert into this, and how will that be packaged, how उसको आगे पहुंचाएंगे customer तक, right? This is entire production. And this is what entire production strategy or operation strategy. Remember, production strategy and operation strategy are one and the same thing. Production strategy को operation strategy भी बोलते हैं, okay? Whereas the operation system objectives are related to customer service and resource utilization. Operation system structure is related with manufacturing and supply delivery system. This system क्या है company का? How does things get converted from A to B? While operation system का objective क्या है? The objective is proper resource utilization, ताकि wastage कम हो, पैसे बचे, रॉ मटेरियल बचे, राइट? इट शुड बी एफिशिएंट. ऐसा ना हो बहुत ही ज्यादा वेस्टेज हो रही है. सो लेट्स से समवन इज प्रोड्यूसिंग टॉफीज, कोई कैंडी बना रहा है, कैंडी मैन और बबल गम की फैक्ट्री है. ऐसा ना हो कि बहुत ज्यादा वेस्टेज हो रही है, जिससे वी कुड हैव रिड्यूस्ड एंड प्रोड्यूस्ड मोर प्रोडक्ट्स, राइट? So resource utilization also comes under production strategy, that there is no wastage. Now there might be a question in the examination that yes, Janesha, your chat is reaching. Which of the strategies helps in reducing the wastage of raw material? Which function strategy is most concerned with reducing the wastage of raw material? कौन सी strategy? Why not, Sudhanshu? Every strategy, Sudhanshu, I told you. Be it corporate, be it business, be it functional level strategy, steps वही 3 है. Strategy उठा लो, steps सबके वही 3 steps हैं. First is planning, second is implementation, and number 3 is control. Okay, planning, implementation, and control. Every strategy will have these 3 steps, no matter what happens. Okay. Production strategy, operational strategy. That is right. The strategy which is concerned with reducing the wastage of raw material, the most closely or most concerned with it, it is production or operation strategy. Okay. Cool. Yes, Neeladri, your queries are coming, and I'm giving all the answers, I think. Okay, optimum utilization of resources, production strategy, operation system objective. True. Operation strategy, production strategy. You get the concept. Right? Now, All decisions related to production of goods and services form the production strategy. Okay, all decisions related to production of goods and services, simple है, वही तो production strategy है. Now think about this. Strategy implementation would have to take into account production system factors as they involve decisions which are long term in nature and influence operations capability. Okay. Now, a classic example आपको देता हूँ. There is a car called Honda City. Okay, there is a car called Honda City, right? No, Krishna Das. So I wasn't getting your previous messages. This is the first one I've got. So now keep typing. Okay, cool. Now, a classic example for production systems and why are they so important and why are we so focused on talking about operation systems and changes. Now, there is a car called Honda City. You and me, we both know there's a car called Honda City. Every year, the company introduces a new model of Honda City. Every year, the company introduces a new model of Honda City. Honda City to the every 2 years, एक नया model निकालते हैं. But every car nowadays, every automobile company is introducing a new model of car, right? उसकी factory तो वही है. The factory remains the same. The assembly line remains the same. The people on the floor who are actually making the car remain the same. But model change. Okay. That is a strategic production decision that we take, that we want to redesign our car. We want to redesign our models, right? And that is what is happening. They want to redesign their car. They want to redesign their models. And that is how this is so important, because it is going to change everything in the company, right? The sales might increase, the sales might fall. We might need more people. We might need more finances. We might need X, Y, Z number of things, right? So strategy implementation would have to take into account the production system factors as they involve decisions which are long-term in nature. Like Honda giving a facelift to an existing model like Honda City. Now, this is so huge for a company, and that is why this function is very, very crucial. It is going to decide the long-term benefit or long-term planning or long-term expectation of future of the company. Ye function has the power to decide, right? Be it sales, be it profitability, be it finances, be it whatever it is, right? Be it a competitive advantage, be it a core competency. Sab kuch is very, very important and very closely dependent on production strategy. A lot of these factors are very much dependent on production strategy. Okay, so this is why this function is extremely important, because it is related to the product. और आप प्रोडक्ट ही तो बेच रहे हो, बाकी फंक्शंस आपके अच्छे हो जाएंगे, बट अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट ही अच्छा नहीं होगा तो बाकी फंक्शंस करेंगे क्या, राइट? That is right, Siddharth. But that needs a lot of change. आपको डिजाइनिंग में पार्ट्स चेंज होके तो आएंगे ना सिस्टम में, राइट? कस्टमर्स माइट लाइक इट, कस्टमर्स माइट नॉट लाइक इट. सब कुछ प्रोडक्शन के ऊपर आ जाएगा. Logistics planning is entirely different, Krishnadas. We'll come to that. वो अगला टॉपिक है, right? Don't be in a hurry. वो अगला टॉपिक है. Changing the car model is corporate level strategy or functional level strategy? Aditi, I think you guys are getting confused. Okay, now I'll give you something which will help you understand. You do not necessarily have to identify if this is a functional level strategy or corporate level strategy. It's a top-down or a bottoms-up approach. Each strategy, which is a functional strategy, gets converted into a business level strategy and gets converted into a corporate level strategy. Okay. Now let's say changing the face or the model of the car. This is what the production unit decides, or this is what the design team within the production function decides. Design team of the production function decides कि हमको एक नई गाड़ी का मॉडल निकालना है, गाड़ी का मॉडल चेंज करते हैं. They take this to the business manager, right? They take this to the business manager, and the business level managers say, okay, I am okay with it. And the strategy at their level becomes differentiation. Cost leadership or differentiation pada tha. So when they're changing the model, the strategy, this same strategy at a business level becomes differentiation. Okay. Now, this same thing becomes differentiation at business level, and this same thing when it reaches the corporate level. When it reaches the corporate level, you tell me what does this become? Corporate level strategies में ये वाली strategy कौन सी strategy बन जाए? The changing or bringing a new model into the market. This strategy at a corporate level क्या बन जाएगी? You tell me. Business level पे तो ये differentiation हो जाएगा. Corporate level पे ये क्या होगा? Tell me. Corporate level पे ये क्या होगा? Let's see who can answer. Product development, right? True. You gave the answer yourself. It's a product development. So every strategy, when it's going to an upper level, it already has a name to it. It already has. So at what level you are sitting, that decides the strategy. Okay. At what level that person is sitting to decide a particular thing, that defines the strategy. The same strategy of getting a new model in the market at different levels becomes a different strategy. Just नाम अलग है, कॉन्सेप्ट वही है, बात तो वही है. नया मॉडल निकालना इज अ प्रोडक्शन स्ट्रैटेजी. प्रोडक्शन में डिजाइनिंग स्ट्रैटेजी है एट फंक्शनल लेवल. बिजनेस पे आपकी डिफरेंशिएशन है, कॉर्पोरेट पे जाके प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट है, राइट? द सेम स्ट्रैटेजी इज गिवन अ डिफरेंट नेम डिपेंडिंग ऑन what level it has reached for approval or what level it has reached for brainstorming, right? वो decide कर देते आपका नाम, बात वही रही. That clears, that helps you understand कि ये functional है या business level है. Every strategy is at every level. It's just the name that becomes different. Okay. That helps all of you to understand it. All of you have given product development, right? Some have given market development, but Radhika, market to already hai, customers to already hai, right? Cool. It's clear, and that is what our objective is. That the idea, the concept should be clear. Exam में आसान हो जाएगा answer करना. Okay. Now, somebody was talking about control. क्या है इसमें? Control कैसे करेंगे? ये देखिए sir. Strategies related to operations planning and control are concerned with production planning, material supply, inventory, right? Then cost of stock or raw material, quality management, maintenance of plant and equipment. Sab kuch comes under production planning. Sab kuch comes under production and planning. Okay. Quality management, maintenance of plant and equipment, inventory, cost, production planning, material supply. The aim of strategy implementation is to see how efficiently the resources are utilized. The aim of strategy implementation is to see how efficiently resources are utilized. Why wastage na ho, proper optimum utilization ho. That is what they plan and control under production strategy. Ki every raw material is utilized to the full capacity, right? Companies also use quality control as a strategic tool. कि quality maintain नहीं चाहिए. Poor quality product ना आए. Good quality products are only produced and even procured. The raw material भी good quality का हो, and the product that we are producing should also be of a good quality. That is what they ensure under production strategy, under production function is what they also ensure. Okay. Now, airline industry has a great emphasis on quality, as lower quality equates with plain life of the passengers, right? Airlines को very high quality maintain करना पड़ता है because there is no way to escape in an aeroplane. आपको ट्रेन में तो आप चेन खींचोगे, नीचे सड़क के साइड में उतर जाओगे, right? And you will be right. प्लेन में दरवाजा खोल के जाओगे, right? So when you're up in the air, 10 kilometers ऊपर हो जमीन से, right? That is where you will basically have to understand, right? That is where you will have to understand what kind of planning, what kind of control or quality you would need to ensure as a business, right? That is exactly what we talk about in production or control of production strategy, right? Again, Manchal, it's all about quality. Even for service organizations, opting functional strategies, it's basically about, in especially in production planning control, it's about quality of service, right? If you're giving a service to a customer, it should be top quality. And or if you're not giving a top quality, probably your pricing should be low. Your quality should match with your pricing, essentially. And that is why a production strategy is also linked with marketing, because marketing is deciding prices. 4P में pricing आ गया, and अगर आपकी quality अच्छी नहीं है तो आप pricing कैसे अच्छी करोगे, right? So all functions are interrelated. All functions are interrelated, right? Cool. Can we go to the logistics strategy, or you guys want a 5 minutes break? I am okay with a 5 minutes break, because I think इसमें strategies में बहुत ज़्यादा we have to like link a lot of things. Strategic tools means different tools like methods, analysis, market analysis, environment analysis, SWOT analysis. These are all strategic tools, okay? That the companies or business functional level, corporate level managers use to basically like understand what we have to do, right? Okay, I think a couple of you are saying quick 5 minutes break is okay. Okay, I'll just wait for another 1 minute to see. Nilantu, you have given 20 blank messages. No, because I think you will not finish in 5 minutes though. Okay, cool. I'm okay with no break also. We can probably end this early as we do. That is also fine with me. Cool. I think majority of you, like 80% of the people are saying no break. So let's go with no break. I just wanted to be sure that you guys are okay in the concept. Zyada tez nahi ho raha hai. Okay. Cool. Probably we'll take no break and end this early like we do to save time. Okay. Got it. Let's go. Let's go to logistics strategy. Let us go to next one, which is logistics strategy. Okay, logistics management. बहुत बहुत जरूरी है to understand what logistics is. Okay, what logistics is. Now look at this picture also. This is logistics. एक example लेते हैं. Okay, यहाँ पे let us say this is a country. This is country 1. And this is country number 2. इंडिया का मैप बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं. Okay, this is India. Now from country 1, there is a raw material X. There is a raw material X, right? This is in this country. There is this country है जहाँ से मेरा raw material आना है. And it has to come to, let's say it has to come to, which state should I choose? Okay, let's say it has to come to Telangana. Okay, it has to come to somewhere in Telangana. अभी वो कैसे आएगा? It can either come through aeroplane, ऐसे उड़ेगा और यहाँ से सामान आपका आ जाएगा, यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, ठीक है? यहाँ पे आपका city 2 में आ जाएगा. Or second mode is, what it'll do is, it will go from sea. सी से जाएगा, घूमते 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 यहाँ से नीचे से आएगा, घूमते घूमते यहाँ पे आके रखेगा. ठीक? Now, this is logistics. This entire from the factory of the manufacturer, there will be a factory, correct? यहाँ पे किसी की फैक्ट्री है, यहाँ पे किसी की फैक्ट्री है. उस फैक्ट्री से वो एयरपोर्ट पे या सी पोर्ट पे सामान पहुंचाएंगे. They will like deliver that product on the seaport or airport. वहां से वो एयरप्लेन में लोड होगा या शिप में लोड होगा. वो शिप पूरा चलेगा, 5-7 दिन पानी में चलेगा, चल के यहाँ पे इस पोर्ट पे आके उतारेगा. From this port, this person who wants the raw material will have trucks ट्रक्स आएंगे, इसका सामान उठाएंगे, इसकी फैक्ट्री में डाल देंगे, या एरोप्लेन से आएगा तो एरोप्लेन से वो एयरपोर्ट पे उतरेगा, एयरपोर्ट पे ट्रक्स आएंगे, ट्रक से वो सामान उतरेगा और इसके पास फैक्ट्री में पहुंचेगा. दिस इज लॉजिस्टिक्स. Telangana has a port, not very famous, but it has a port. Okay. Not possible that it has a sea and does not have a port. Right? Chennai has a port for sure. Visakhapatnam has a port. Telangana also has a port. आपको नाम नहीं पता. Cool. Okay. So this entire thing is logistics. This entire thing is logistics, which means smooth and uninterrupted production process को ensure करता है by process which integrates the flow of supplies into, through and out of the organization. Into अंदर आ गया, through एक फैक्ट्री से दूसरी फैक्ट्री में अगर ले जाना है वो भी लॉजिस्टिक्स है, राइट? ये हुआ फर्स्ट. दिस इज इनटू बिजनेस. नाउ विद इन इंडिया, लेट्स से विद इन इंडिया दिस पर्सन्स फैक्ट्री इज हियर एंड उसको राजस्थान में भी अपनी सेकंड फैक्ट्री में सामान बेचना है, राइट? ये वाला सामान राजस्थान भेजना है. दिस इज ऑल्सो लॉजिस्टिक्स थ्रू द बिजनेस. यहाँ पे उसने रॉ मटेरियल से उसने बना दिया एक फिनिश प्रोडक्ट. नाउ दिस फिनिश प्रोडक्ट फॉर पेंटिंग होगी राजस्थान में, सो वो पेंटिंग के लिए राजस्थान भेज रहा है. दिस इज ऑल्सो लॉजिस्टिक्स. एंड फ्रॉम राजस्थान दिस विल गो टू मुंबई, दिस विल गो टू बैंगलोर, दिस विल गो टू कोलकाता, दिस विल गो टू दिल्ली, राइट? इन सब जगह पे राजस्थान से पेंट होने के बाद जो जैसे जाएगा ट्रक में, ट्रेन में, जैसे भी जाएगा, दैट इज ऑल्सो लॉजिस्टिक्स. That is also logistics. So process which integrates the flows of supplies into, through and out of an organization to achieve a level of service which ensures the right materials are available. Exam keyword. Logistics ensures right material at the right place. Right materials are available at the right place, at the right time, of the right quality, and at the right cost, right? Absolutely. Logistics issues during COVID or during Ukraine-Russia war यही है. वो बीच में वो शिप ही नहीं आने दे रहे, एरोप्लेन्स ही नहीं आने दे रहे, right? So this is what happens. Logistics ensures the right materials are available at the right place, at the right time, of the right quality, and at the right cost. Okay, remember this. The right material are available at the right place, at the right time, of the right quality, and at the right cost is what logistics is all about. It's what logistics has to ensure. The logistic management, the logistics function has to ensure this. उनको सिर्फ इसी चीज पे ध्यान देना, right? Within this comes a lot of things. With this, so basically, not within this, because of this, ये सब होता है. Because of this, ये सब होता है, and these become your competitive advantage of the business. आपकी cost saving होगी, your inventory will be reduced, जल्दी बेच पाओगे सामान, जल्दी अच्छा logistics होगा, तो it will reach the customer early at the right time, right? Improve delivery time, customer satisfaction, and which leads to competitive advantage. So logistics, having a very strong logistics can become a very good competitive advantage for you, right? Because आपकी cost save हो रही है, तो आप cost leadership में जाके competitive advantage कर सकते हो. Reduced inventory है, improved delivery time है, customer satisfaction से आप differentiation कर सकते हो, and finally it creates a competitive advantage for you. Finally, it creates a competitive advantage for you. And that is why logistics management of logistics function is very, very important for every business to focus on. Okay. True. That's a big company right now. It's gone for IPO as well, right? That is also right, Sriram. You can use the keywords, right? PTQC, place, time, quality, and cost. That is right. Right place, right time, right quality, and right cost. That is right. Okay, this is logistics management. This is logistics management. But there is a concept called supply chain management. Okay, now I will have a question to all of you. Who will help me understand? Who will help me understand the difference between supply chain management, the difference between supply chain management and logistics management? Let's see who can explain the difference between supply chain management and logistics management. Supply chain logistics से अलग कैसे है? Let's see who can answer this. नहीं आता तुक्का मारो. You learn something new. You do not have to be right, but you have to answer. You do not have to write, but you have to answer. The difference between logistics and supply chain management. Okay, I have a couple of answers. I think I have an important call. Can you guys give me just 1 minute, please? I have to take this call, right? It's important. Can I be back in 1 minute, guys? I just want to ask you, right? I want your permission. Can I be back in 1 minute, please? Do you guys allow me 1 minute? I will be back. I have to take this important call. I'm really sorry for this. Sure. Thank you, everyone. Right. I'll be back in a minute. You guys figure out supply chain management versus logistics. I'll be back within 1 minute, please. And thank you so much for allowing me. Right. Cool. I'll be back within 1 minute. Yes, thank you everyone for this. Thank you. I am back though within 1 minute, and I have answers as well for supply chain management, which is cool. A lot of you have written really good answers. It's a broader concept in terms it includes logistics. That is right. Logistics is transporting through transport system, whereas supply chain includes person involved in the process. Okay. Logistics management is part of supply chain management, and SCM is like an extension of logistics management. Okay. SCM is right from procuring raw material to placing them in stores and also making it reach the final end consumer. Logistics is sub-function of SCM. That is right. It's a sub-function of SCM. Okay. Supply chain management, the process from raw material to finished goods, including after-sales services. That is right. That is right. SCM is the flow of goods between business and location. Okay. Very cool theoretical definitions you're coming with. How the goods will flow from raw material to final consumption is logistics. That is supply chain. Logistics is the delivery from one place to another. Good. Okay. Logistics is basically more concerned about production, but supply chain is more focused on supplying finished products to the customer. Okay. Supply chain management will see that there is adequate supply of the raw material and finished goods are delivered to the customer. Supply chain relates to external as well as internal linkages. Okay, that's a bookish language. Whereas logistics relates to linkage with transportation, warehousing, handling of inventory, raw material only. Okay, transport of commodities from one place to another into the organization, where supply chain management is the transfer of finished commodities of the organization to the end consumer. Somewhat yes, somewhat yes. Logistics is a wider term than supply chain. I don't think so, Namrata. We'll talk about that. Logistics is a part of supply chain management. Yes. Logistics is way you ship goods. Supply chain is how good our how good our reaches to the customer. True. Okay. Supply chain management covers activities like production, inventory planning, XYZ, whereas logistics is focused only on delivery and cost effectiveness and efficiency of delivery. Yes. Okay. Supply chain involves how the products can be available to the end user, that is supply chain. Super. Supply chain management includes improved logistics. That is right. Okay. That is absolutely right. Now, I'll give you an example. Okay. All of you, everyone, I'm really happy that you guys are writing answers. And this is only going to help you in the examination, boss. मैं बोलता रहूंगा तो मेरे को एग्जाम नहीं देना है, आपको देना है. And because you're writing all these, I think 99% of you are absolutely right in the concept of difference between a supply chain management and logistics. Okay. Let us take example of Amazon. Okay. Niladri, your answers are coming. Don't be afraid. Everything is coming to me. Right. Let's take example of Amazon. Okay. Supply chain management versus logistics. Logistics is only concerned with the major idea of logistics is delivery within the company, like from the manufacturer to the company, within the company, एक branch से दूसरी branch, एक factory से दूसरी factory, एक warehouse से दूसरा warehouse, and from those warehouses to the final customers or the final shops. That is logistics. Okay. How is supply chain management different from logistics is? Supply chain management also talks about inventory efficiency. Supply chain management में क्या होता है? I'll give you an example. Now you are, let us say you are a salesperson. Okay, you are a salesperson और आपको काम दिया गया है that go and sell this cell phone. आप ये cell phone जाके बेच आओ मार्केट में. आप जाके cell phone बेच के आओ, जितने पीस बेच सकते हो बेचो. Okay. I'm coming to that number. I'm just giving you the difference right now. You are a salesperson and you have been told that go and sell as many pieces you can sell of this phone in the market. You go, you advertise, you talk to a lot of people in the market and you get orders for 10,000 phones. आपको 10,000 सेल फोन्स का ऑर्डर मिल गया. ठीक है. अभी आप वापस कंपनी में आए, आपने बोला दोस्त, you went to supply chain team and said, I have order for 10,000 phones. Give me 10,000 phones and I will get it delivered through logistic partners or logistic team to every customer जिनसे मैं order लेके. Supply chain team says, boss, the 10,000 phones you will only get after 3 months. You will only get these after 3 months because अभी ये बन रहे हैं. They are in production. So we have 3,000 units. We have 3,000 units in our warehouses. 4,000 units are at sea. अभी वो शिप से निकले हैं. वियतनाम फिलीपीन से 4,000 फोन शिप में है, वो भी चल रहे हैं. 20 दिन बाद इंडिया आएंगे और बाकी 3,000 अभी प्रोडक्शन हो रही है, तो आपको 3 महीने बाद ही मिल सकते हैं. Logistics is only concerned with efficient delivery, cost efficient delivery from this place to that place. Supply chain management is the overall flow of materials, products of the company. Logistics is just a part of supply chain management. Supply chain management बहुत बड़ा है. Another question: raw material कहाँ से लेना है? Raw material कहाँ से लेना है? Supply chain management. Now think about this. Logistics is not concerned with raw material कहाँ से लेना है. Logistics को कहेंगे भाई आप सामान वियतनाम से उठा के लाके दो in the most cost efficient way. Now logistics team will identify कि अगर मैं plane से लाऊंगा तो मुझे 1,00,000 रुपए लगता है, मैं ship से लाऊंगा तो मुझे 90,000 rupees लगता है. So I will save 10,000 rupees. तो चलो ship से मंगवाते हैं. But ship से मुझे 20 दिन लगेंगे, aeroplane से मुझे 2 दिन लगेंगे. तो ठीक है, 10,000 रुपए एक्स्ट्रा देके 2 दिन में सामान आ जाएगा. That is logistics. That is logistics. But raw material from Vietnam से मंगाना है, हांगकांग से लाना है, right? Canada से लाना है, Africa से लाना है, or do you want to get raw material from somewhere in like other part of the country? Australia से लाना है, कहाँ से raw material लाना है? Supply chain management. This team, this function is basically working out proposals, figuring out how and from where the things will be collated. और वो सिर्फ movement of goods, delivery of goods is logistics. Okay. Now you understand the difference between supply chain management and logistics. Logistics is just a part of supply chain management. Okay. Absolutely, Shiva. It's a long chain. कोई रॉ मटेरियल मैन्युफैक्चर है, वो फिर ट्रक वाला कोई कंपनी है, लॉजिस्टिक्स कोई कंपनी है, कोई पैकेजिंग कंपनी है, कोई क्लियरिंग एजेंट है, कोई पोर्ट पे काम कर रही है कंपनी दैट इज हेल्पिंग यू टू गेट दैट प्रोडक्ट्स. सो मेनी पीपल पुटिंग दैट प्रोडक्ट इनटू शिप. वो शिप फिर चल के आ रही है, इंश्योरेंस होती है शिप की, XYZ, राइट? Also, I am trying to be like 80% I'm talking in English, but if that is not helping, I'll add more English for you. I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it, right? I'll keep that in mind. But you get the difference between supply chain management and logistics. How are these two entirely different? How are these two very different amongst themselves? That logistics is just a part of supply chain management. Logistics is just a part of supply chain management. A newer cross-functional approach to managing movement of raw materials into the organization and movement of finished goods out of the organization towards the end consumer who are satisfied as efficiently as possible. Okay. SCM refers to linkages between suppliers, manufacturers, and customers. These activities are usually outsourced to specialized organizations like FedEx, UPS, Amazon. These are supply chain management companies. ये लोग काम करते हैं वाला FedEx, UPS, Indian Post, right? Supply chain management है. Indian Post is more of logistics, ज़्यादा logistics पे है. But these companies are also helping you identify the best possible and most efficient way of movement of goods or procurement of goods कैसे हो सकती है. That is what these companies are talking about, and that is supply chain management. That is supply chain management, right? Sorry, your messages are reaching. Not an issue, Krishna Daso. I'm happy to explain in English as well. Particularly the mode of communication of the classes is English only, right? Like Express B's, that is right. Amazon or Flipkart online order delivers the product at doorstep is supply chain management. That is right. That is right. Logistics is the only delivery wala part of this entire system. You placing an order, it being coming from somewhere, someone in Ajmer getting an order from application that you ordered, they sending that product to the warehouse, yeah. The movement only is logistics, but this entire system and operations is supply chain management. सिर्फ वो ड्राइवर ट्रक में चल रहा है या डिलीवरी बॉय ऑन अ मोटरसाइकिल कम्स टू योर हाउस, only that part is logistics. Only that part is logistics. Rest everything in this movement of goods. कि कैसे वेयर हाउस में आ रहा है, what barcode they are doing, how this thing is developed, कितनी देर में कर पाएगा, how quickly they can convert this order into your door, how the refund will happen, how the money will come, how this entire thing happens. Supply chain management है. कैश ऑन डिलीवरी होगा तो कैसे होगा, इफ ऑनलाइन पेमेंट होगा तो कैसे होगा, बाय नाउ पे लेटर होगा कैसे होगा. Everything forms or is associated with supply chain management, right? Other than logistics, what everything that we're talking about, Aditi, all other functions, supply chain management in itself is a function, logistics is a sub-function within itself, right? Inventory management, like I was telling you, inventory, the giving the visibility of inventory to the business. We do not have inventory. You cannot go and sell 10,000 phones right now. We do not have inventory. That is supply chain management. They're managing inventory. They're managing orders. They're managing the operations, the movement of goods. जो barcode लगा है, they're scanning, barcoding. Amazon gets like 5 crore orders every single day. How do you manage those 5 crore orders that there is no delay? It reaches the right customer. That is supply chain management. Logistics तो सिर्फ delivery है. How it reaches the right customer within the given time, that is supply chain. That entire operations ki barcode hoga, automation hoga, there will be technology, there will be people function, there will be robots, there will be a warehouse, सामान जहां से वहां आ रहा है, यहाँ से वहां जा रहा है, कैसे move करेगा उसके घर तक पहुंचने के लिए. That is supply chain management. The movement only सिर्फ deliveries, only logistics. बाकी entire system is supply chain management. Can supply chain management be outsourced? Absolutely yes, because it's a very costly thing. Khud develop करेंगे तो it will be very costly. So a lot of companies outsources to FedEx, UPS, Amazon. Some examples. Sriram, your answers are reaching. Okay, cool. Flipkart has e-cart for logistics. That is right. E-cart is the logistics partner of Flipkart. Flipkart supply chain management खुद कर रही है, but सिर्फ logistics is taken care by e-cart, right? Ola is not supply chain management. No. Goods and services, particularly goods, are converted in supply chain management. Ola is a service. It's not a supply chain management. It's not even logistic. You are not a good or a service, right? The customer is not a good, right? अभी आप सामान थोड़ी ना, you are the end customer to them. Logistics is not about movement of end customer. Logistics is not about the movement of end customer. It is the movement of goods till the end customer. But Ola, Uber में तो end customer कोई movement हो रही है. It is not logistics or supply chain management. It's a different business altogether. Every company has supply chain management in every country. Yes, if it has operations in that country, it will. Uber package is logistics. Yes, Uber Eats, जैसे आपका Uber Eats था, that is logistics. Amazon has Cloudtail as logistics. That is right. एकदम सही. That is right. Absolutely right. DHL, Blue Dart. These are all your basically logistic companies, right? Particularly, yes, Sonika, supply chain and logistics is much more concerned with goods and not services. अब चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट है, कोई लॉयर है, कोई आर्किटेक्ट है, कोई इंजीनियर है, कोई कंसल्टेंट है, उनको लॉजिस्टिक्स और सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट चाहिए. They don't have delivery of goods to the customer, or they do not have a raw material, they do not have a factory, they do not have a manufacturing plant. उनको तो जरूरत ही नहीं है ट्रक की कि ट्रक से सामान आएगा या शिप से सामान आएगा. They don't need that. Service industry is not in need of supply chain management or let's say, what do we say, logistics. It's more about the industries which have goods. Logistics is transportation and does not include traveling. Absolutely yes. ऐसे तो आप कहोगे Indigo is also a logistics company, नहीं? वो तो कस्टमर को उड़ा के कहीं और लेके जाती है. No, it's not a logistics company. It's a business. It's an airlines business. It's a transportation business. It's not a logistics function. तो business है उसका. ऐसे तो train, Indian Railways is also logistics. It is. The cargo trains are, but the passenger trains are not. The cargo trains are, but passenger trains are not logistics. Absolutely, that Geo ka brinjal to your home is also logistics and supply chain management. That is right. It is not required. That is right, Sonika. We do not require it. That is right, Sriram. Your question is, you are on the right track. You understand it. That is right. Krishna Rasu, the question is, factory and manufacturing supply product, various places can we connect the logistics part to its product strategy, or it should be separate? Every strategy is interlinked. Every strategy is interlinked. Now, let's say if the production strategy thinks कि एक नया Honda City का model निकाल देते हैं, and the raw material has to come from Japan. पहले वो सामान आता था, let's say from Philippines. Now the raw material or the design, that kit needs to come from Japan. The production function has to tell the supply chain management function कि भैया अब हम जापान से सामान चाहिए हमें. So please arrange for raw material or that kit, that design kit from Japan. So then supply chain management will come into function. So every function is interrelated to the other function. It cannot survive in isolation. Krishnas, that helps. That answers your question. Geo network connected to your home is through router. That is not logistics. आपके घर पे इंटरनेट की तार आ रही है, हाउ इज दैट लॉजिस्टिक्स? वो लॉजिस्टिक कैसे है? उसमें मूवमेंट क्या, कौन सा गुड बेचना है? इंटरनेट की क्या आपको पैकेट आ रहे हैं मैगी की तरह? दैट इज नॉट लॉजिस्टिक्स, दैट इज इंटरनेट. तो लॉजिस्टिक्स थोड़ी ना. Durga, that is what I'm saying. Indian Railways, the cargo trains, right? जिसमें सामान जाता है, that is logistics. जिसमें पैसेंजर जाते हैं, that is not logistics. Every time I'm thinking you guys are taking my masti, right? If this is logistics or not. Right, let's go to the next one. I think fairly we are clear on the concept, and this is what this slide also talks about: the difference between logistics and supply chain management. Logistics management is the process of integration and maintenance of goods, whereas supply chain management is the coordination and management of supply chains of an organization, right? Logistics management is a narrower concept and a part of supply chain management. Okay, remember this. Remember this. Objective of logistics management is customer satisfaction, and supply chain management emphasizes on competitive advantage. उससे भी बड़ा स्टार. The objective of logistics Is customer satisfaction the objective of supply chain management? Is competitive advantage create करना for business? Okay. I'm pretty sure you guys are taking my masti now. There's another example of logistics. Cultivated crops went to factory for processing. Absolutely right. That's part of SCM, जिसके अंदर movement is logistics. Now I also give smart answers to you, right? Every answer will be it's logistics is a part of SCM. The entire process is SCM. The movement of goods is logistics. Okay. But the objective of logistic is customer satisfaction, whereas SCM, supply chain management, is more concerned about creating a competitive advantage for the business. Okay? एक competitive advantage बनाने का काम कर रहा है supply chain management, while logistics management is more concerned about creating satisfaction in the minds of the customer. Right? Cool. Implementing a supply chain management system. The key requirement for successfully implementing supply chain will be network of information sharing and management. Simple and zaruri. Raw material has to come from Japan. If the Japan team or manufacturer is not communicating कि मैं सामान दे पाऊंगा या नहीं, logistics क्या कर लेगा? So supply chain management has to ensure that there is a network of information sharing and management. They should be aware how much raw material, from where, when will it come, how will it come. How will it come is only logistics. Everything else, from whom will it come, when will it come, right? And how will it come? How is logistics, when and from whom is supply chain management. Think, when will it come, from whom will it come, and how will it come? How is logistics? Baki dono, when and from whom is supply chain management. A successfully running supply chain management involves, samjhiye, supply chain management involves product development, procurement, manufacturing, physical distribution, outsourcing, customer satisfaction, and improved performance. Supply chain management इन सब चीजों को अफेक्ट करता है. Read it like this. Read it like this. Supply chain management affects all of these things for a business. Supply chain management affects all of these things for a business. Product development, procurement, manufacturing, physical distribution, outsourcing, customer service, and improved performance. Supply chain management affects all of these areas of a business. It affects all of these areas of the business, which is product development, procurement, manufacturing, physical distribution, outsourcing, customer service, and improved performance. Right? Great. Since logistics management focuses on customer satisfaction and SCM focuses on gaining competitive advantage, which is more beneficial to organizations to survive in the long run? Always, always competitive advantage. Customer satisfaction will eventually come if you have a competitive advantage. Okay. How is the objective of logistics customer satisfaction? Siddharth, okay. Recent example, Blinkit, 10 minute में delivery हो जाएगी आपके घर पे. What are they achieving? What are they achieving? Customer satisfaction. Zomato में you order something, वो tracking शुरू हो जाती है. The delivery man, guy has reached your spot. It is now moving from the restaurant to your home. It will be at your place in 10 minutes. Customer satisfaction. Customer is satisfied. ठीक है, घर बैठे बैठे देखो खाना आ रहा है 30 minutes में. Domino's. If you do not deliver within 30 minutes, you get a pizza free. Customer satisfaction through logistics, right? What does this line mean in product development? Right from the start, the partners will have knowledge of all involving all partners will help in shortening the time of launch. True. Why not? Anushka, read that statement again and you will automatically understand. Read that statement very slowly. Think of yourself as a business person and then understand. Right from the start, the partners will have knowledge of all, involving all partners will help in shortening the time of launch. If you know what all the different functions of partners in production are at, it will shorten the time of launch. बिना बात किए, बिना communication के, it will only lead to delays. What will lead to successful shortening of time of launch is proper communication and knowing that which team is at what stage, right? That will help in proper production, that will help in shortening the time of production and delivery to the customer. Right? Is Adani Ports and Logistics? Yes, it's supply chain management. Ports are always supply chain management, not just logistics. Okay? Because वो सब कुछ करते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं. वो inventory management करते हैं, warehousing करते हैं. They do all the port clearing. They help in a lot of things. Right? Customer satisfaction is the foundation of every organization, not necessarily Mansha. Customer satisfaction, achieving customer satisfaction through competitive advantage is what a business should focus on. Okay, reaching customer satisfaction through competitive advantage. Right? We are not a mandir. We are not a charity. Business is not a charity. Charity leads to customer satisfaction without competitive advantage. Okay, a business has to satisfy the customer through its competitive advantage. That is why it is a business. Mandir nahi hai, right? It's not a religious space. It's not a charitable institution, right? कि free में लंगर देंगे तो लोग customer is satisfied. Free में प्रसाद मिल रहा है, free रहने की जगह है. You can go and stay in धर्मशाला. No, we are not doing that. It's a business. You have to satisfy the customer through competitive advantage because you have to keep the competition away. कंपटीशन से बेटर सेटिस्फाई करना है आपको सेटिस्फाई करना है बट कॉम्पिटिटर से बेटर करना है वरना लोग कंपटीशन के पास चले जाएंगे राइट सो दैट इज व्हाट अ बिजनेस इज फोकस्ड ऑन राइट Mansha, you get that concept. Customer satisfaction is important as competitive advantage is something unique and valued by the customer. So if the customer is not valuing it, then what? See, competitive advantage ke andar hi we are saying that it is to be valued by the customer, right? If your competitive advantage is not valued, that means there is no competitive advantage. If there is no competitive advantage, there is no customer satisfaction. Competitive advantage will lead to customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction will not lead to competitive advantage. आप उल्टा सोच रहे हो. आप कह रहे हो customer satisfy हो गया तो तुम्हें competitive advantage आ गई मेरे पास. I'm saying no. You have to have a competitive advantage to satisfy the customer, not satisfy the customer to get a competitive advantage. Right? आप उल्टा सोच रहे हो. You have to go from A to B. We're going from B to A. Example is simple. Charitable institution versus a business. Right? A charitable institution does not care about. Now think about this. A Gurudwara is not competing with a temple. Okay, I'm giving you a very raw example. A Gurudwara is not competing with a Krishna Mandir or a Ram Mandir because they don't want to gain a competitive advantage there. While both of them are satisfying the people who are going there, right? कोई competitive advantage नहीं है किसी के पास. They're not even fighting for it, right? They have their own charitable institutions. It's a religious charitable institution. उनको competitive advantage नहीं चाहिए. A Gurudwara is not creating strategies कि राम मंदिर के लोगों को गुरुद्वारे कैसे लेके आए. That is not happening. But for a business, you have to identify how do I satisfy that customer better than my competition. And उसके लिए मुझे बनाना है competitive advantage. Competitive advantage बनाने के लिए I should have a very good supply chain management system. This is what this thing says. This is what this thing says, right? To have a competitive advantage, I need to have a very good supply chain management system. Who that helps clear the concept. SCM basically includes everything that is included in logistics. Kushi, logistics is a part of SCM, supply chain management. So everything that logistics includes will eventually be part of SCM, right? Great. If that is clear, let us go to the next topic, which is research and development strategy. Very good. Marketing done, financial done, production done, logistics done. Super. Let's go to research and development strategy. Okay. Now, what a simple question to you, very simple question to you. ये topic भी clear हो जाएगा. Okay. Why should a company invest in R&D? Simple question to you. I'm asking you this question. Why should a company invest money in research and development? Tell me. क्यों पैसा खर्चूं मैं research and development में? Why should a business even spend money on research and development? Why is it even needed? To be competitive. Okay. What else? What else? Why should a company invest in research and development? To improve their products and their quality. Okay, what else? What else? Innovate, reduce costs, differentiate, to take advantage of technologies for production of good quality, keep us updated, introduce innovative products, develop new products, creating unique products to be differentiated in the market, not become obsolete, uniqueness of product to gain competitive advantage through differentiation. True. To match the changing times, to be abreast, to be in line with the changing times in technology, every company needs to do R&D, research and development करना ही पड़ेगा. Otherwise, you will become redundant. Otherwise, you will become obsolete. That is what all of you have said. Reduce cost, gain advantage, right? There can be R&D to upgrade yourself. There can be R&D to sustain yourself. There can be R&D to reduce costs. There can be R&D to create a competitive advantage. There can be R&D for a lot of other reasons, right? R&D करने के बहुत सारे reasons हैं. We have a lot of reasons for a business to do research and development, right? And that is why they do research and development. Adjusting processes to local raw materials, adapting processes to local markets, altering products to particular tastes and specifications. A well-formulated R&D policy matches market opportunities with internal capabilities. A well-formulated R&D policy, right? They match the opportunity with the internal strength. SWOT analysis में हमने पढ़ा था ये. SWOT analysis में हम लोग ने क्या पढ़ा था? Strength को और opportunity को मिला देती है your R&D strategy. आपकी strength और आपकी opportunity को मिला देती है. So all of you gave the right answer, right? All of you gave the right answer. How to decide? Question हमें समझ आ गया यार, हमको R&D करनी है. But ये question कैसे आया? Let's answer this question. I want you to answer this question. अभी नीचे का मत पढ़ो. Just read this question on the screen and tell me your thoughts. And tell me your thoughts. To compete with the cutthroat competition, right? Absolutely. The Prime Minister is also telling us to invest in research so that we pay more taxes, right? Cool. Now, how to decide if the company needs R&D strategy to be done by self or by some outside expert? How do you decide? Every strategy will give you a competitive advantage, sir. Right? Aditi, your question is that good production strategy always gives competitive strategy, competitive advantage or competitive strategy. Then why not research? Okay. See, research, every strategy. Don't get confused with what is the objective of every strategy. The end objective of every strategy is gaining competitive advantage. Chapter number 1 or 2 से हमने start किया that every strategy, strategic management is all about creating a core competency which helps you gain a competitive advantage. उसके बाद हम पढ़ रहे हैं the different levels of strategies, while the essence of every strategy is to gain competitive advantage, right? So every strategy is focused on that. outside ठीक है. The question is how do you decide कि outside से लेना है या खुद R&D करनी है, or you want to go and get someone else to do it for you. You have to outsource that R&D or you want to do it in-house. How do you decide that? Go for outside experts if you want to be more creative, okay? By comparing costs and benefits, okay? Based on results of operations in the past period, okay? If you know how is it top secret, okay? Self, if you know how is it top secret, okay? That is great thought, Pooja. If your know-how is a top secret, then you should do in-house. Otherwise, आपका secret reveal हो जाएगा. If the company has enough resources, then it should do on its own, otherwise outsource. Comparing costs by analyzing the cost effectiveness, right? The cost for producing the product is less than purchasing, so then you can do that, right? If it is huge and you don't have proper resources, then outsource. Demand and supply. If the demand is high, outsource is better. Great thought from everyone who's answered, right? You guys are expert in functional strategies. Huh? Every question ka answer you guys have. And that is what I repeat. So, now let's get into this. All your answers are absolutely right and absolutely right for the examination also. Right? Just add these few key points in your answer and you're good to go. A few more technical in-depth analysis is, if the rate of technical progress is slow, the rate of market growth is moderate, and there are significant entry barriers, then in-house R&D is preferred solution granting a temporary. Right? Now, this means अगर ज़्यादा मार्केट नहीं है आपके बिजनेस में, आपके इंडस्ट्री में, if the market is moderately growing, right, technical progress is slow and significant entry barriers, new players नहीं आते ज़्यादा जल्दी से, new players are not coming on a regular basis. ऐसा नहीं है कोई every month a new company enters your industry or competition. That is not happening. The growth of the market is moderate. The technical progress is slow. Up in-house R&D कर, right? Because बहुत ज़्यादा market नहीं है. You can comfortably manage R&D yourself. But if the technology is changing rapidly, market is growing slowly. Technology बहुत तेजी से change हो रही है और market slow grow कर रही है. Because market slow grow कर रही है, that means the profits are not very high, okay? But technology बहुत जल्दी change हो रही है. The technology is changing rapidly, but there are less profits to be made because market is growing slowly. The major effort in R&D may be very risky, right? Because it may lead to development of an ultimate obsolete technology. If you create a new technology, but the technology is changing very quick, हर 3 महीने में कुछ नया. Every 3 months, there is something new coming in the market. Everyone is innovating, right? And you spend a lot of time, money, effort on developing a new technology. वो 3 महीने में तो कुछ नया आ गया. And the market is growing slowly. That means you do not have much profits to make. Then you should go and outsource. Not spend time in-house R&D करना है, right? But if the technology is changing slowly but the market is growing quickly, टेक्नोलॉजी तो ज्यादा तेजी से चेंज नहीं हो रही बट द मार्केट बहुत जल्दी से बड़ी हो रही, राइट? देयर इज जनरली नॉट एनफ टाइम फॉर इन हाउस डेवलपमेंट, क्योंकि इतनी तेजी से मार्केट ग्रो कर रही है. यू वांट टू फोकस मोर ऑन मार्केटिंग एंड प्रोडक्शन देन ऑन R&D, बिकॉज टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज भी ज्यादा जल्दी नहीं होता है. हर रोज टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज नहीं हो रही है, तो डजंट मेक सेंस दैट आई पुट एफर्ट एंड रिसोर्सेज एंड मनी in house R&D, तो उसको आउटसोर्स करा देंगे, राइट? बाहर से ले लेंगे, जब भी जरूरत होगी तब करवा लेंगे, राइट? Whenever it is needed, we'll get it outsourced, right? But if both technical progress and market growth are fast, R&D expertise should be obtained through acquisition of a well-established firm. ये एक नया ही चीज होगा. They are saying आप in-house मत करो, आप आउटसोर्स मत करो, आप एक R&D की कंपनी ही खरीदिए. When the market is growing fast, when the technical process, the technology is growing fast, and the market is also growing fast, तो ना तो आउटसोर्स करो और ना इन हाउस करो. आप एक R&D की कंपनी ही पूरी खरीद लो और उसको बोलो स्पेसिफिकली that guys, we are only going to work for us, we are only going to work on R&D for us. उनको खरीद के उनको बोलो आप R&D सिर्फ हमारे लिए करेंगे, जो will only do R&D for us. And that is how you can tackle a rapid change in technology where the market is growing very fast as well, right? Does this make sense? There are 4 things. Technology process is slow, market is moderate, in-house kar lo. Technology is changing very fast but the market is not growing, outsource kar do, right? Technology is changing slowly and market is growing quickly, outsource kar do. Both technical progress and market growth are fast. Ab acquire hi kar lo koi R&D company, which will be the best thing to do. Which will be the best thing to do. Okay. Sure, Mancha, that's your business strategy. You can absolutely do that. Really depends on how you want to run your business. That is right, Sriram. Keywords are technological change and market growth. You have to decide on R&D strategy, R&D policy, R&D function based on 2 things. First is technological development ki speed and second is market growth rate. Last point ka current example I'll tell you. You know that Siri, which is there in Apple iOS, right? iOS के अंदर there is a voice assistant called Siri. So Siri was not developed by Apple. They bought this company which made Siri. Okay. So Siri जो product है, which comes in Apple phones or Apple products, all the products, it was not developed by Apple. They bought this company which made Siri. उसको कंपनी को ही खरीद लिया और बोला कि अब आप Siri को और डेवलप करो हमारे लिए. Right? They cannot sell Siri to anyone else. They only develop or upgrade Siri for Apple products. So that is an example. Because technology progress बहुत तेज है. Google Assistant आ रहा है, Amazon का आपका Alexa आ गया. Then Apple had to fight competitive market growth बहुत तेज है. Technical progress बहुत तेज है. Right? In voice assistants, in voice technology, बहुत तेज है सब कुछ. Right? Amazon Alexa is there, Google Assistant is there. And then Apple had to work with Siri. So they said कि यार हम खुद तो बना नहीं पाएंगे. It will take a lot of time and money. So they went in the market, found out the best company which is doing that. They figured out Siri is best for them. They bought that company which made Siri. And now they told them that, boss, you will upgrade Siri only for us. That is an example. What else? Any questions and doubts? Microsoft Cortana is also there, right? I missed that. Jio's taking Amazon for digital marketing. That is right. That is again a good strategy, right? Acha, another question. R&D strategy में, if you go with this strategy, okay, if you go with this strategy, business level पे ये कौन सी strategy है? Business level पे which strategy is this? Business level पे कौन सी strategy है ये? It's an R&D function strategy, but business level पे कौन सी strategy है? Business level पे कौन सी strategy है? Functional level पे it's an R&D strategy, but at business level, which strategy is this? No, Sriram. I'm asking at business level, what do you call this strategy? Acquisition. Acquisition, external growth. I marked also. Why are you guys getting confused? Answer मैंने mark भी कर दिया था. Where is this top level coming? Business level पे it is a top level strategy. Acquisition and merger. Growth, external, acquisition. Right? ये आपका corporate level पे चलेगा, right? Corporate level पे चलेगा, sorry. Plus at business level also it is like somewhat, I would say it is a differentiation. R&D will always create differentiation. ये भी याद रख लो एग्जाम के लिए. R&D will always create differentiation, almost always, unless the R&D is on cost. अगर cost कम करने के लिए R&D कर रहे हो तो cost leadership, otherwise always differentiation. If you're doing R&D to reduce costs, it is cost leadership. Otherwise, it is always differentiation. Okay. Let's quickly jump to the next topic, which is 3 major R&D implementation approaches. Okay. 3 major R&D implementation approaches. There are 3 approaches to research and development. Number 1, you can be the leader. Number 1, you can be an innovative imitator, right? Or you can be a low-cost producer. Okay, let's look at examples. Be the leader. That means you are the first one to bring something new to the market. आप एक ऐसे कंपनी हो जो हमेशा मार्केट में कुछ नया लेके आते हैं. You always bring something new to the market. You are the leader. You are the leader. Like Apple laptops. Okay. You can be an innovative imitator. That means like HP laptops. Now, HP does not innovate much, but it matches the recent technology. Okay, HP will always bring the latest technology by innovating the imitation of the latest technology. Right? It will imitate the latest technology to develop its products. Or you can also be a low-cost producer. You can also be a low-cost producer like Acer laptops. अभी Acer भी बहुत महंगा हो गया वैसे. But what they'll do is they'll bring the latest technology at the lowest cost possible. Okay, these will take the risk. This is safe. This is safe, right? Safer type की strategy. You can either be the leader, you can be an innovative imitator, or you can be a low-cost producer. These people do something new. These match with the latest trends. Second type of R&D will match with the latest trends by innovating their own products. And final one is they will copy the latest thing and produce it at a low cost, right? So all of these 3 are R&D strategies, right? But a different way of doing R&D, okay? So Danshu, it's a very simple English word. Pioneer means leader, okay? Yes, Aditi, I'm answering your questions also. I think that is why your queries are reaching me. Alexa can be taken as an example of Amazon's research. Absolutely, yes. We're still stuck there. I am on the next topic, sir. I've come on the next topic, and I'm even ending the next topic now. The 3 major implementation approaches, right? Be the leader, be an innovative imitator, or be a low-cost producer. Okay, so there are 3 approaches to R&D that a company can follow. Marketing done, financial done, production done, logistics done, R&D done. The final one now is human resource strategy, human resource function. Okay. Now, human resource का क्या होगा? You tell me. You tell me. A human resource function is concerned with what? What would be the objective? Or human resource function करता क्या है? You tell me. What does a human resource function do? Tell me. Aditya, I did not get your question. How research means what? What is the question there? But the question I have for all of you is, what does a human resource function do? Human resource function करता क्या है? Tell me. It's a staffing function, right? Oh, okay. You're confirming yes, it's a research. Staffing, hire the best staff, staffing. Okay. What else? Staffing में क्या क्या आता है? I'll just rephrase the question. We know human resources about staffing, but staffing के अंदर क्या क्या आता है? Like वो करते क्या है? Staffing तो करते हैं, but within staffing, what all comes? Recruitment and management of hiring personnel, utilizing available manpower to the optimum extent, right people at the right place at the right job, employ person, employment, provide comfortable working and environment to the employees. That is right. What else? Give them incentives, right? Like keep a happy environment of working, be a comfortable environment, let people grow, value people's personality, value people's personal space, give them incentives, give them good work to do, develop them, give them more opportunities, finding the right people, finding the right job for the right people, helping them stay longer in the organization, helping the organization to grow and achieve its objectives through hiring the right people. सबसे मुश्किल काम है, right? सबसे मुश्किल काम है. Human resource strategy is the toughest because you and me know it is really difficult to find the right person for yourself, right? You and me know that. Finding the right person yourself, एक आदमी, like any person, that the opposite gender, finding the opposite gender for yourself is the toughest thing in the world. And this function does that daily for the company, finding the right people for the company. How difficult it would be, right? Now, HR department must develop performance incentives that clearly link performance and pay to the strategies. लोगों को incentivize करना चाहिए. They incentivize. They give incentives for people who achieve the company's objectives so that they feel valued, so that the company overall grows. Human resource function cuts across every other function. Research and development में researchers चाहिए. Finance department में they need MBAs and chartered accountants. In production they need engineers or marketing guys or MBAs, right? In logistics they need a lot of people. They need vendors. They need everyone, right? In supply chain they need experts of supply chain, consultants, hiring the right people who know supply chain. So human resource cuts across every function, right? Compensation, recruitment, promotion, development, receptive of ideas of the staff, right? Then getting a competitive advantage, right? Cost of maintaining the employees, right? You can turn it as a spouse or a partner, right? That is spouse or a partner. That is right, already. I can use that word as well. But I was not sure if at your age that is the right word to use. अभी से spouse करोगे तो सर पढ़ोगे कब? For sure, just like go and consult an HR department and they'll say कि contract जरूर बनवा लेना, right? So before you get into any relation, they like offer letter भेज देना with terms and conditions and notice period, so that once they're leaving you or ghosting you on text, वो एक notice period देने की अब 1 महीने तक हम आपसे बात करेंगे उसके बाद bye bye, right? They're not copying, Aditi. That is why. That's a great question. HP and Acer, if the technology is patented, how are they copying? Okay, I'll just quickly go back. आप ये word भूल गए. आपने इमिटेटर तो पढ़ लिया आदित्य, आपने इनोवेटिव नहीं पढ़ा। वो इनोवेटिव तरीके से कॉपी करते हैं जो कि पेटेंट को मैच नहीं करता है, राइट? यू कैन लर्न फ्रॉम अदर्स एंड देन डू योर ओन थिंग, दैट इज इनोवेटिव इमिटेटर। माइकल जैक्सन जैसे डांस करोगे तो यू आर कॉपीइंग माइकल जैक्सन, but if you learn how Michael Jackson like dance and then you build something of your own from that particular thing, it's an innovative imitator, right? Same वही step करोगे माइकल जैक्सन का तो कॉपी कर, but if you innovate something with same fluid ways of Michael Jackson's dancing, you are innovative imitator, right? That is what they do. बच्चे तो बड़े हो गए सर, बट इतने भी बड़े नहीं हुए, अभी पढ़ने का टाइम। Cool. Let's go to the key points to consider by HR for achieving competitive advantage. Recruitment and selection of the most competent applicants. Common sense. Employees receive regular training to perform their jobs properly. उनको regular training मिलनी चाहिए. How a company works, what are the new processes, new softwares they have, new technological development. उनकी personal development भी तो होनी चाहिए. Employee कह रहे यार मैं आपकी company में आके कुछ सीख ही नहीं रहा. That should not happen. They should learn something. Appraisal of performance to identify any performance deficiencies. If people are performing well, they should be compensated, they should be rewarded and awarded, right? Compensating staff better than competitors to increase the competency of its workforce. Competition se better pay karna is also what human resource management does, right? Awesome. For strategic focus, right? For strategic focus, this human resource strategy has basically 3 areas में बटा हुआ है, okay? There are 3 areas human resource. First is pre-selection practice, right? Including HR planning and job analysis. First they identify की job कौन सी opening है, company में what kind of people do we want. That is pre-selection practice. First identifying and figuring out what kind of people do we want. Do we want experienced people? Do we want a lot of freshers? Do we want a lot of old people? Do we want a lot of young people? Do we want more females in the team? Do we want more males in the team? Do we want people from particular state? All these planning are pre-selection practices, right? Selection practices, right? After you have decided all this, then you figure out किसको ढूंढना. Then you ask for applications, people send applications and resumes. Then you figure out if they're matching that particular need of the company. If they're matching, you identify them, you select them. And after selection, post-selection, जब वो आ जाते हैं company में, to maintain and improve the workers' job performance levels, you need to ensure that they keep performing and doing better day on day, right? Pre-selection, selection, and then post-selection. Pre-selection, selection, and then post-selection. 3 areas होते हैं HR, right? Best Employee Award in Tata Tea advertisement, right? I think I have also seen that. Or rather, probably be active on the sessions. We have sessions till 15th of September. Last session is all about doubts, so you can collate all your doubts. Till then, go through syllabus. We have around 15 days. That means 4 more sessions to go. You can ask all your doubts in that, right? Strategic role of HR manager, वही repeat हो रहा है फिर से. Providing purposeful direction, building core competency, creating competitive advantage, facilitating change, managing people, diversity, empowering of human resources and development of work ethics and culture. बहुत ज़्यादा पूछा जाता है एग्जाम में. You will have to learn these points. It's a very frequently asked question. What is the strategic role of an HR manager in a company? Very frequently asked question, and this is what you have to write. These points you have to write, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 points is what you have to write in strategic role of an HR manager, right? You will have to learn these simple common sense here. There is nothing to explain in these points, self-explanatory points. Okay? And very frequently asked question in examination. Strategic role of HR manager. Right? And with that, we complete our chapter number 6 as well. With that, we complete our chapter number 6 as well. We are only left with 2 more chapters now, 7 and 8. 7 थोड़ा सा लंबा है, 8 छोटा सा है. So 7 में time लगेगा. 7 2 session, next 2 sessions on 7, 8 का एक session, and then last session on question answers, case studies, and doubts about examination. Right? Go ahead, Anushka. Related to human resource management, 10 your questions. Next 3-4 minutes, let us spend on the questions. Let us spend on any doubts that you have. For those who are clear on the concepts, probably the class is over for you. Thank you for joining. But we'll spend another 2-3 minutes or 3-4 minutes, whatever, how many doubts I have, then I'll answer those. And we will close the session for today. Again, I'm saving your time without taking a break. Cool. Sure, the chapter 8 is also very important. I think a lot of questions in case studies come from chapter number 8, is what I've experienced. Chapter number 8 से case study में questions जरूर आता है, हमेशा. So we will probably focus more there. On the role of HR, facilitation of change, right? If some, like let's say an experience, a CEO is changing, the HR team has to ensure that all the 5,000, 6,000 employees are able to accept the new CEO or the new CFO, right? That is change management. आज concept थोड़े भारी हो गए, right? I know. That is why I asked you in the middle, break चाहिए या नहीं? Because I know this is a little heavy on concepts. What is concentric diversification, right? Again, I'll give the same example again, Krishnadas. If you have missed those sessions, go back and look at those sessions. We have explained in 1 hour. 1 ghanta laga we have done that. Concentric diversification is almost the same line of business, but a different product you're trying to get into your business. We're diversifying in a different product, but same line of business. So a milk producer, a cow milk producer, also selling soy milk or goat milk is concentric diversification, right? Disruption of social and political structures. Where are you coming from, Anushka? Which topic are you talking about? You will have to help me with that. Good. Let's see 185. My house has 2-3 rooms 180, so I can be a different room as well, right? If the background is different, doesn't mean I'm not at my house. I can have different room. Yes, Neelabju, share market and forex exchange, strategic financial management, SFM, 100-mark paper at final level, I think, which will now be removed, I think, but I think it's right there right now. We will learn a lot about share markets, a lot about share markets at final level. Disruption of social and political structures, failure to match individuals' aptitude with implementation tasks. Anushka, simple English. What they're trying to say is they are disrupting social and political structures, right? By diversifying. People from all communities, people from all ethnical backgrounds, they are being staffed at companies, right? It is not like companies are discriminating based on caste or religion or location or state or gender. They are diversifying. Number 2, failure to match individual aptitude to implementation task means if I hire an engineer for finance, doesn't make sense. Or if a chartered accountant is hired for, let's say, marketing, might not be that fruitful, right? It can be good, but the chances are very less because you have not studied, you are not expert in that, right? So that is what it says. Cool, thank you. Pooja, we'll revise this entire thing. आपने तो पूरा chapter ही पूछ लिया मेरे से. You can go back to that chapter and like refer. We have explained everything with examples. Otherwise, last session is all about doubts. We'll answer that. आपने तो पूरा basic chapter ही पूछ लिया. What is concentric, horizontal, vertical diversification? Right? You can go back to that session, listen to everything. I have given all the examples. Refer that. Right? That should help. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who's saying thank you. Apple in-house outsource or acquisition. Apple is in-house. Adequate top management support from implementation. Inadequate. You're asking all the statements that are in the study material, Anushka, right? It's simple English, Anushka. Inadequate top management support means top management is not supporting you. Top management आपको मना करता है. In your what you bring new ideas, top management is saying no. One major strategic decision related to HRM, for sure, reorganization, right? Reorganization is something like हमने पढ़ा था, you remember at we studied SBUs. Now HRM can have a decision saying कि यार from an existing SBU structure, chapter 7 पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है? I'll take that question in chapter 7. Change of your organizational structure is part of HRM strategy, okay? That is chapter number 7, which is organizational structures. It is part of HRM strategy. मेरे को वहाँ याद दिलाना, वहाँ पे we'll study this. Okay. Cool. Absolutely. COVID brought a lot of changes in all the functions. I think we are almost at time. It's 9:10. Without a break, let us conclude a session here today. Let's start with chapter number 7 in the next session, which is on next Tuesday. Today is Thursday. Be there on time. I will try to be there on time as well, right? Cool, and thank you for everyone who is joining in and interacting. A big thank you to everyone who is on the chat. Also, a big thank you to everyone who's watching and not chatting, but try to be on chat. Helps a lot to you and me, right? All right, guys, that is for today. I'll see you in the next one. Be on time. Cool, take care. Session is concluded.